Virgo, welcome to your reading about how to set your compass. I've relayed the cards. I'm going to pull more cards at the end. We've got here a really strong drive, lots of key wandy energy to move things forward, but we're being asked to sort of dampen some sort of wild passion a little bit, which I will be pulling more cards on because it's going somewhere kind of peaceful. So that's interesting, but I want to kind of build it out. So if that feels relevant, then let's dive in. You and the idea of setting your North Compass, going in the right direction. The Five of Wands, wanting to jump in and compete, wanting to be that youthful kind of game-playing energy where you just throw your hat into the ring. I'm looking at all their different coloured tights. They look like sort of a rainbow of colours to me today. It's absolutely beautiful, and the spotty on the back of this character here. So it's a lovely exuberant energy. I applaud it. I love it. It's very much going to get stuff done, having a go, being young and full of energy, but yet having a go. This is for Virgo and Bell people. Did I say that? I feel like I keep hearing a bell behind me, and then I might have be imagining it, but anyway, that's what's on my mind. So really beautiful dynamic energy. Your root skills are the Four of Wands and the Two of Wands. So being able to look out and pick the right partnership, the right way of expressing your creativity, that you are ambitious, that you see new options for it, which I love. With the Two of Wands, he's not just satisfied with what he's got, that you're good at picking up new options for expressing your creativity, expressing celebration, good partnerships, built stability built out of this wild passion. So we've got the 2, the 4, and the 5 of Wands. It's not wild passion, but just very strong creative drive, and you are good at finding ways to express that well and looking for new ways. That's lovely. Let go of the Wheel of Fortune, which says don't try and push things too hard. This is what the reading is about, because we know you're super passionate. You don't need to push too hard at the moment. Something's happening on its own. I'm looking at that little symbol there. I don't know what it means. Maybe someone does. So retire the drive to move forward too quickly. On your root skills, I'm seeing all the bower of fruits. That's beautiful. And how these seem to stand on their own like magic. How to move yourself into your right direction. Again, a card in reverse. This is a card of learning lessons, the Six of Swords, of putting all of your swords into the boat and moving from rough water into smoother water with all your lessons and all your parts. Here it's saying you don't need to worry about that. You don't need to try and improve yourself. You don't need to try and learn lessons. You don't need to try and push things forward. You're kind of okay as you are somehow. It feels like stop trying to learn lessons, maybe tolerate the rougher waters, but stop trying to sort of pull everything into a neat, orderly package of lessons that you can metabolize. It feels like that. It feels like allow the chaos a little bit, but also don't be focused too much on what you've learned. Instead, be in this moment. And where it's all going is the Devil in reverse. So a calming down of addictions, which is wonderful. A release of addictive behaviors, being tied to people that you don't want to be with or without, obsessions, anything to do with addiction and overly pushing. It comes from this kind of incredible creative mind of yours. I feel like you don't need to try and learn any more lessons. You don't need to try to be, that's almost part of the obsession as well. There is an addiction or a letting go of sort of self-improvement and push that is going to be really relieving. And through that, let's see what you might receive. So I'm going to pull some more tarot cards. We've got one here, the Prince of Swords. Through that, you can still take these dynamic actions of the Knight of Swords, who takes a punt on things. It's like you're more likely to be able to take a punt when you're not obsessing so much about getting it perfect, about learning your lessons perfectly, about pushing through perfectly, about this dynamic. There's a sort of grace in this. It's a swift action, an instinctive mental action that you could take without the burden of the sort of whole vision of moving forward that Wheel of Fortune. Right, what have we got here? King of Wands, the Page of Swords. So that's the strategist who comes before the Knight of Swords that you've got here. The Three of Pentacles in reverse and the Queen of Swords. So don't worry too much about other people, is what I want to say here with the Three of Pentacles in reverse and cooperating with them. You've got a more sort of dynamic King of Wands type energy. Go for what you want. That's very much it. But stop trying to learn the lessons. Stop trying to be perfect. And here we've got you taking a punt, strategizing with this wonderful Page of Swords. You've learned it all. You've got these books. You're on them. You've learned what you need to learn. Now make your wishes with this dandelion. Decide what you want to go after. Make it up a bit. You don't have to be perfect. So it feels like a contrary energy to me saying don't push. But I think what I'm saying is don't push from a place of trying to be perfect with the Wheel of Fortune. Don't try and sort of get everything just perfect. Go in all your glorious imperfections forward. Don't worry about cooperating with others. For some reason or other, you don't need to do that at the moment. And then the Queen of Swords, you can see far, a bit like the Page of Swords. There's a sort of very clear-sighted energy here and a very honest energy. Be honestly yourself. You don't need to be... the Six of Swords in reverse is saying you don't need to have everything buttoned up and all the lessons perfectly learned. You can be messily, honestly yourself and move forward. Oh, there are even two more cards I hadn't seen. Yeah, the Chariot and the Five of Wands. So that's interesting. So these two were on the floor. The Five of Wands, again, here, you turning up in this idea of wanting to compete, wanting to jump in. It's saying go with that competition. But don't feel like you're retiring the Wheel of Fortune. Don't feel like you're having to make everything sort of big and dynamic and perfect, but just jump in and play this game and get on your chariot and go with all your gusto and intention. I want to pull a card on the Wheel of Fortune because it's interesting. There's a real... Wheel of Fortune talks about making a big change and it's saying don't, and yet you're being told to keep going anyway. So I asked for clarity and I got this, the Wheel of Fortune and the Nine of Pentacles. It's saying you're good enough as you are. Being just you is good enough as you are, because the Nine of Pentacles is about resplendent, relaxing in your garden of all your achievements. It's saying just the fact of everything you've done up until this point, just the fact of you will push you forward. And this drive, this creative drive, and this Five of Wands that's turned up twice, you have the will to compete and you have the intention and the will to get going on a really epic quest. So the reason that it's saying retire your Wheel of Fortune is that you're going forward anyway, and just try not to think you have to be perfect in order to do that. You're good enough as you are now. There's some relaxing of an addiction coming. And what have we got here? 3 cards. Start. You must start from where you are. Examine your situation and take a chance. That's it. Take a chance, which is the Knight of Swords that we've got here. He just jumps in and take a chance, but start from where you are. You're good enough as you are. You don't need anything better. Patience. Creativity takes time, and sometimes a project can be seeming to take too long or seem to be failing. The wind, and then cycles. The wind blows and the cycle and the wheel turns. That's what it's saying. The cycle is happening naturally anyway. We go through cycles just like nature because we are part of nature. So that's an emphasis on the fact that just being you is moving this Wheel of Fortune forward because you're such a dynamic, creative person. And patience, You might need a bit of that because you're such a dynamic, creative person, but it's saying it's all happening anyway. And let's pull you a little dream song oracle. Oh, I love this. Seek the angel's perspective. Look from a higher perspective. I think we're going to read it, but a higher perspective that would immediately know how perfect you are, just as you are. It's time for the expansive view. Fly up high away from the minutiae of life. Being grounded is essential, but sometimes we need an angel's eye view of our life to get a better perspective. When you cling to a familiar environment, your perspective can shrink. Ideas, plans, and ambitions can suffer as a result. This is also true of your belief system. When life feels too cramped, whether by restrictive thoughts or situations, you must change your view. Think of yourself as winged, able to fly above the life, looking down on your choices and decisions. Is your vision small? Are your plans meager? Are you breathing only a little and calling it a life? Use your meditation space. Climb up to 10,000 feet. As we're saying it, we've got this plane above us, which is never normally here, so it's interesting. Climb up to that height. It's very rare that we get them over this flight as a flight path. Take in the expanse of your life. Decide your next move based on your vantage point. It's brilliant. I think that there is a perfectionism here that is being asked to be retired. Realize how big you could be if you stop trying to make everything just perfect. I think that's the addiction that you're being released from, and this is that sort of obsessive thought about getting everything right. Let go of that. Here comes another even faster plane. That's amazing. I think we had that sounds like a jet plane. Yeah, so get right up there, be as dynamic as these planes, as this kind of high view, this fast view, like the Knight of Swords. You're retiring your obsessions, your addictions, they're holding you back. Once you can let go of trying to be perfect, you will realize just how perfect you are, and how dynamic you are, and how creative you are, and how being imperfect and moving forward in that creation, like those Six of Swords, not needing to learn every lesson in order to get going, brings things into the world that others can relate to, because none of us are perfect. So, see you again.